Namaskar. I'm Ashok Vyas. Welcome to Vision of Asia Voice of the Community. Today, this Sunday, we look back on what has unfolded in the past week, and we will have some glimpses of the historical event, inauguration of 46th President Joe Biden, glimpses from that event, and conversation with Padma Shri Dr. Sudhir Parikh about expectations from new administration. Lilly Singh is back. That season 2, what will be offered for the viewers? We will have a conversation with Lilly Singh, and then we talk about recovery and activism with Dr. Neeta Jain, who is a candidate in the seat of District 24 for City Council. Indian Consulate of New York and Jhilmi organized Vishwa Hindi Diwas, a report on that event, and we will conclude with conversation with another candidate for the same race, Dilip, Nath. So all this coming up right after these short messages. Stay with us. 20th January would be remembered as a historical day in the history of America. Whole world watched unfolding of the inauguration ceremony, which was different due to COVID-19 and several events which preceded this 20th January, which includes what happened on 6th January. President Trump assured Americans with the theme America United. It was very exciting for many Indian American members to see Kamala Harris taking oath as Vice President of this great nation. Here are some glimpses from that ceremony.
I, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., do solemnly swear.
I, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., do solemnly swear.
That I will faithfully execute.
That I will faithfully execute.
The office of President of the United States.
Office of President of the United States.
And will, to the best of my ability.
Will, to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr.
Thank
President.
you.
I, Kamala Davy Harris, do solemnly swear
I, Kamala Davy Harris, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
that I will well and faithfully discharge
that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
All right.
Let us meet Padma Shri Dr. Sudhir Parikh in this week and hear his views on expectations from Biden administration and much more. Namaskar, I'm Ashok Vyas and I have the pleasure of welcoming none other than Padma Shri Dr. Sudhir Parikh. Doctor, welcome. Namaste.
Namaskar, namaskar.
And I see your smile with a new excitement. In America, a new history is on the brink of unfolding with new presidency. So let us begin by looking at new America under President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. At this point, election is history. A result is there, and now a new America starts its journey. How do you feel your first reaction to this change?
Well, well, I mean, this is looks like a better and positive change with the new administration. So we welcome our new president, 46th president of USA, uh, Joe Biden, and we wish him good luck and congratulate him, and also to the Vice President Kamala Harris. And I'm sure they will do uh, a much greater job. Always in new administration, we expect them to do better job than last administration. So uh, I think they will do it, and I'm very optimistic about them.
So I am happy about your optimism as well as hope, and I think that is the spirit with which democracy can function smoothly by accepting the one who is elected and supporting him wholeheartedly, whatever team it be. Though that is something which is missing in democracies nowadays, Doctor. So um, that we haven't seen during the previous President Trump. The opposition was opposition. In India also, it is the same scenario. So, what is it that gives you confidence in the ability of President Biden to unify?
Well, I mean, he's a seasoned politician. He's in the Senate for many, many years. In Congress, also quite a long time. Plus, he was a vice president for 8 years. So, all those experience and wisdom, I'm sure he will use to unite the country and make the country better.
And when we look at the priorities of Biden administration, where do you see would be his focus in the initial, say, 10 days or a month, based on promises that they have made and challenges that USA is facing?
I'm sure in the very short term, I think his priority should be pandemic, and he must make sure that this vaccine rollout becomes more effective and smooth. And as he promised that he would like to vaccinate 100 million people in 100 days, and if he can achieve that, that will be great, and that really will break the pandemic, and we can have a better economy and better days ahead.
And the theme, as we have heard for the inauguration ceremony, is also America United. And preparations for 59th presidential inauguration ceremony also includes presence of heavy military in the Washington D.C., which I think is unprecedented. Do you look at it as some kind of dent on the democratic image of America uh, in the world?
Yes, obviously, this kind of presence of 25,000 National Guard or military, paramilitary people in the Washington D.C., a lockdown of the whole area of the Washington D.C., it's kind of not very pleasant thing to happen or to see, and I think that is some dent in the democracy, and I think we should move forward now, forget about the past, and let's get going and do the better things.
So when I hear you, I am very happy, and I think that spirit is lacking in many politicians at the moment. Otherwise, they wouldn't go for impeachment of President Trump and wouldn't say what. we have heard, including the remarks from Nancy Pelosi saying he's a deranged, and there have been no, um, should you say, they didn't shy from calling whatever names. So when that kind of expression reaches 72 million people who voted for Trump, then the process of unifying becomes even more challenging. Um, any advice as a senior member of Indian community member that you may have for, there are Indian Americans also in Biden administration. So in general, if you get a chance to interact with them, what would be your advice to them?
Well, my advice is that probably impeachment is not well thought action. It's more like vendetta than anything else, because the when president is going away or finishing his term, so departing president to impeach him and create more division among the Republican and Democrat, or the people, those who voted for Trump and those who voted for Biden. That's not very well thought agenda, and therefore I think that may hurt Biden administration itself if they bog down in impeachment in first 100 days of the administration. Then they will have a hard time to confirming the new appointee, and also they will have a hard time to take care of control the pandemic, and plus to control the economy.
Absolutely. And I also feel happy that some of the ideas propounded by President Trump are taken in the true spirit, especially in terms of the stimulation package. And President-elect Joe Biden's nominee for Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has also urged lawmakers to act big. And what that brings in front is the proposal that stimulation package would shift 600 to $2,000 for common folks, and there are some other provisions. So, your response to this news?
Well, I mean, larger package is good for those who are suffering because of pandemic. But again, we have to see what kind of package will go through the Congress and Senate. Most likely, I think it will scale down eventually. Before it comes as a law, I think it will be scaled down to almost probably half, and that's what my feeling is, or my reading is, and see what happens. We have to wait and watch.
Well, we wait, and looks like a vaccine is giving a lot of confidence among people that now we are going to move beyond the challenge of COVID-19. Looking at the vaccine and India, uh, there are probably 5 or 6 countries which are going to be importing vaccine for coronavirus from India. So that's a very unusual situation for India. So talk to me about that, your response as a physician as well as lover of India.
Well, I mean, this shows that India has came a long way. They are one of the biggest manufacturer of the vaccine, and they have a huge pharma sector, and this is very proud. We all are very proud of it, and I'm sure India will meet his own requirement to vaccinate all the people of India within the next few months, and also they will provide the vaccine to the another underprivileged countries in the Africa or Sahara or in South America. So let's see. I think India is one of the leading country for production of the vaccine, and I'm sure that vaccine made in India would be very effective and beneficial.
Absolutely. And we switch between India and America because that is natural for Indian Americans. So I bring back to America with the reference of a sense of unrest among those who have either say supported President Trump or those who are labeled as right-wing thinkers about their freedom of expression. As we talked earlier also about not just Twitter having banned President Trump for life, some apps, platforms which were used by right wingers like Parlor, they have been shown the exit door. Uh, this kind of atmosphere where people feel that they are restricted from expressing themselves because of their uh, views which or ideology which doesn't match with the ruling party. How do you see this impacting uh, America as democracy as we move forward under President Biden?
Well, I think leadership under President Biden will help to control the pandemic, to help provide the vaccine to all the billions or millions of people in India, as well as those who are underdeveloped countries. And I'm really very confident that India will be doing a great job.
No, I'm bringing back the reference of freedom of expression under President Biden, as I mentioned about Twitter account of President Trump and Parler, and so there is a sense of unease about checked freedom of expression under the new administration.
I agree. There should be a freedom of expression. There should be a First Amendment right of everyone to express themselves as they fit. So any ban by the Twitter or Google, it's ill-advised, because eventually, if you ban something, then they have to change themselves, and they have to be ready to accept the liability too, but because you can't have one-way street. So I think what Twitter did and what Amazon did or Google did, I think, or Facebook did, I think it may backfire on them, and probably government can bring another more regulation for them, and more liability responsibility on them. So I think that's not good idea. And so freedom of expression has to be there. Obviously somebody has to monitor internally, but you cannot discard or remove the whole class of the people, or 50% of the people of the USA, because you don't get along with their opinion. So I think Twitter and Google, what they are doing is not correct.
So I bring back the reference of Vice President Kamala Harris and her relationship with India in terms of her roots. And as a new history unfolds with 46th President of the United States, I think this is for the first time that we have a female Vice President. Um, Based on the general statements and impression that many people have from the expressions of Kamala Harris, that she has not been very supportive of India's stand, and some of her comments were seen as a kind of question mark on her respect for India's integrity to decide on its own. So, being a champion of Indo-US relationship, you yourself have been proactive in forming India caucus. How do you think the Indian American community should redefine its role with the new administration to have better understanding between these two nations?
I think Indian American community has to play a very aggressive, proactive role in order to boost the U.S.-India relation. And obviously, we know that Vice President Kamala Harris has some different opinion on different subject, but that is our duty as an Indian American to educate the Vice President, or convince the Vice President what is the point of view of government of India, and what we think as an Indian American for India. And therefore, I think it's very important and very critical that all our Indian American patrons should take part in active politics in USA.
And as we move towards the concluding part and talking about active politics, and gradually, I think from the time when you started becoming active and raising concerns of India on high platforms, there have been more Indian Americans who are active in the mainstream American politics. And your quick impression on, like, we have council members being elected and that election. So you see a lot of Indian Americans more active than what probably they used to be about, say, 10 years ago or 20 years ago.
Yes, I agree with you, because even right now we have 5 Indian American origin congressmen in the Congress, as well as you know that Vice President herself is a South Asian origin or descent. So I think it is, and there are so many Indian Americans are on the state level as assemblymen or state senators, and I think it's very exciting to see them as our representative. And more young generation should take part in the mainstream politics and be part of the politics.
Absolutely. So thank you very much, Dr. Saab, and your parting words for our viewers from today's session.
Well, dear friends, would like to congratulate our 46th President Joe Biden and his team for new Biden era for next 4 years. And I'm sure all our support from the Parikh media and ITV Gold and Indian American community will be with President Biden. And let's celebrate his victory, and let's wish him a best good luck to our new president and vice president. Thank you. God bless America. God bless India. And we'll see you soon next week. Thank you.
Lilly Singh has made a big name and has generated a lot of love for her creative expressions. And now that she's back a little late with Lilly Singh's second season, she talked to Aditi Lama for ITV viewers. And here is a part of that conversation.
Hey, what's going on? It's your girl Lilly Singh, and I'm so excited to be back for season 2 of my late night show, A Little Late with Lilly Singh, where we are breaking the format and ditching the desk. In season 1, when I started A Little Late with Lilly Singh, my goal was to break the format and change things up, and I did that kind of. Admittedly, I was learning so much and figuring out the world of late night. In season 2, I can confidently say we are breaking the format. I am bringing my full authentic self to late night. You're gonna see behind the scenes. You're gonna see me being so weird, so imperfect. I'm gonna embrace mistakes and just bring in all the fun. Season 2 of my show is taking place in what I like to call my fun house. You know, I think for me, what feels authentic and real is shooting in a house. It's kind of going back to my DIY style of doing things. I'm not a fancy person. I'm not a formal person. I don't really like wearing blouses. And so I think this set is the perfect set for me to bring this creative vision I have to life. And I can't wait for you to see it, because you're literally gonna be a guest in my funhouse. For this season of my show, there is no live audience. There is no strict, rigid setting where I sit behind a desk, and I think the result is something really special. You're gonna see a lot of behind-the-scenes footage. The crew is essentially my family and my audience. You're gonna see me having a lot of jokes and banter with my crew, and we're all just friends, so it's a lot of fun. And I think what you're gonna get to learn is what it takes to make a late-night show, especially in 2021. It's quite fascinating and a lot of hard work, and I'm excited to show you just how dope my crew is and how much work they put into making a late night show. I've always said a main ingredient in social media in the digital age is authenticity. And I'm not using authenticity as a buzzword. I'm being real, like the real being imperfect, the person who is a weirdo that doesn't always know the right thing to say. That has always been the secret sauce of me online. And I think for a moment there, I convinced myself I had to be something else. You know, I had convinced myself I had to hit a mark, speak a certain way, get rid of some of my mannerisms. And for season 2, I'm going back to my roots of, no, I think being authentic is very important, especially in the digital space. And so I think my audience online is really gonna appreciate that. They're gonna appreciate me being me and not letting traditional media or late night or any network or studio change that. And I think, I don't know, we're gonna reunite as best friends. So in season 1, I got to talk to a lot of cool guests, a lot of famouses, a lot of celebrities who I fangirled about, and it was awesome. And we're gonna have more of those people on season 2. But something I really wanna change is, I think there's so many people that are doing dope things in their communities, online. They have great initiatives that are not celebrities. They're not necessarily famous, but those are the people that are the best to have conversations with. And those are the people who deserve to be on late night. And so being in the position I'm in, I want to bring those people into the late night world because they deserve to have a platform. So I'm gonna have a lot of great conversations with people who aren't necessarily celebrities. And I'm stoked. What I'm most looking forward to in the season ahead is the audience realizing that me and the crew are actually having a blast. You know, I want that to come through the screen. I can genuinely say thus far, every single day of shooting, I have brought my full self, I've been completely myself, and I've been proud of everything we've shot. And I think those things should not be taken for granted and should not be taken lightly. I want the audience at home to feel our energy and feel our pride and feel our fun through the screen, and I really think you will. And also, I wear outfits like this, so it's a pretty happy time. I will say this energy is so crucial, especially because interviews are remote. Right now, things are happening through virtual means, and so I'm gonna feel really, really proud if you can feel our energy through not one screen, but like 2 screens sometimes, because things are happening remote.
Welcome back. You're watching Vision of Asia Voice Community on ITV Gold. This program comes to you every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays at 8 p.m. And every week on Sunday at 11 a.m., we have a special weekly edition of this favorite show, Vision of Asia. We appreciate your continued patronage, support, and encouraging response. Stay with us. We'll be right back after these short messages. Dr. Neeta Jain is supported by many Indian American community members as well as many organizations, and she has been active with Indian American community as well as a conduit of sort, a bridge between different organizations and our representatives. While she's contesting from District 24 for City Council, she had another conversation with Aditi Lamba about fair recovery and activism also. Here are some glimpses from that conversation.
Welcome to ITV Gold, Dr. Neeta Jain. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very good. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, we have to have you. You are a candidate for City Council in New York's District 24th, and you're running for a seat of a councilwoman. So just starting off this interview, I have to ask you, what truly inspired you to run for this candidacy, and what do you hope to bring through your candidacy for the community?
All right. First of all, brilliant question. And you know me for a long time. I'm a community leader. I'm a civic advocate. I'm also an elected district leader from this area where I'm running for City Council right now. I have seen this community from very close for 30 years, not 1, 2, 3, or 5 years. Since I came to this country, I migrated in 1992. Since then, I'm involved in community service. I was lucky and honored to be on ITV for a long time for our school children, for special needs children of our schools. So as my background is also, I have a PhD in psychology. I also have a mental health counselor licensed from New York State. So I've been serving this community in so many different ways. I'm also involved in a lot of different nonprofit organizations, religious, social, and cultural organizations. As you know, I'm a past vice president of Jain Center of America, which is the first Jain temple in all North America. Currently, I'm a senior vice president of Hindu Center, which all sits in this district right here, where I serve as a district leader or I'm running council, right? I'm also a delegate for DNC delegate for Joe Biden and Harris from New York State. I also serve this community where I'm running for as a president of Daniel Patrick Moynihan Democratic Club.
Oh, wow.
So, and professionally, you know, I work with the school system. I work with the school going children for more than 25 years as a school psychologist, as a bilingual psychologist, and specifically I served my South Asian community as a bilingual psychologist.
Yes.
And you know that need was there, need is still here, and need will be there.
Yes,
because of this pandemic, it made this worst. During this whole pandemic, I've been out almost every day. People are calling me left and right for so many different reasons. They need help. They need help.
Of course.
Schools, children need help. Parents need help.
Yeah.
Their administrators need help. Their educators need help. So small businesses need help.
So you're there for
need
them.
help. You know,
that's why
and
you're
I'm
running
for them. And if you go on my website, people are, posting different questions. Like today, I just read one question. Some senior posted that they need vaccination. They don't know where to go.
Right.
So this is what I'm doing for all my life.
Okay.
I'm also an advocate for women's right for big time. I'm very vocal for domestic violence victims, which I'm serving that community also for almost 30 years. I've been taking care of a lot of domestic violence victims in our own community.
Yes.
And the seniors, of course, I work with senior centers very closely in my district, both district, City Council District 20 and 24, both falls in my district leader district.
So you've been leading basically in this whole thing, and that's why you're running for council. That is really, really good.
How many things you can, there's hundreds of things you can make a difference by serving this community, and that's the reason I'm running.
So let's talk about the diversity of District 24, Dr. Jain. Tell me about the South Asian influence you see in the district. How large is the population? And, when you're looking at the diversity of this district, what kind of communities reside there?
This is I believe this is the most diverse district in my whole, Queens County. We have all different ethnic groups live in this district. As you know, even within South Asian, we have a lot of different, we have Pakistani, we have Bangladeshi, we have Nepali, we have Indian, right? All four definitely are there, and we are growing day by day. We have Jewish community, we have Hispanic community, we have African American community, we have Korean Chinese community. So we have all mixed. But right now I can tell you that immigrant community overall is increasing in this district. People are moving into this district a lot, and we have seen a lot of changes from 10 years back in this community. Community has changed, the people has changed, the races have changed, and so the needs are changed.
For sure. Let's just talk about these needs and discuss a little bit more on District 24th. I'd like to talk to you about the economic as well as healthcare ramifications of COVID-19 that you've seen in District 24th. New York was one of the hardest hit cities in the beginning of the pandemic, and we're still taking the burden off it. How bad was it for the communities in District 24th?
It was very bad, and I'm sure you have heard even in in the beginning of the pandemic, Kew Garden Hills was very badly hit. Pamnak was very badly hit. I'm just coming back from Pamnak, and I know why. And overall, this whole district, Fresh Meadow was very badly hit, and we didn't hear that much in Briarwood, but Richmond Hill also touches our district. Jamaica also is a part of our district. So overall, we can say that the overall district, overall Queens County got very badly hit. But we have these two communities they were really suffered a lot in the beginning of the pandemic. Now they got a little better. Now again, the surge is there. and people are getting more and more sick. So I just want to tell at this point right now, please be careful, please stay safe, please use mask. But I was out there on, in my district, and I would say out of 10 people, only I'd say 7 people were not wearing masks. And I was doing mask distribution, and I said, please wear mask. It keeps you safe and other people as well safe.
Right.
There's a lot of need for education also on the health point of view. As I'm a professional mental health person, I'm a professional health person, and I know that we have a long way to go on that personal ground. The healthcare, small businesses, what you just said, the economically, a lot of businesses are out. When I go out, I see shutters are down. People are not there. And some people, small businesses who came back to their doors, they are still suffering. They are like single person, owned business. They did not get SBA loans in the beginning, right? Because they have no employees to show. They have no payroll to show. So there are people who really needs help, and I'm trying to help them as much as I can. I even told them that, after this 2nd February, I will bring professionals to help you, sit down with you and do the paperwork and whatever guidance you need.
Right.
Education in every field right now, education is the most important part. When you say for the healthcare, when you say for the mental health, when you say for the small businesses, everywhere you need an education to tell people how to go forward.
When you're looking at the local and state government and you're looking at all of the issues in healthcare and economically that you're seeing in the district, is the local and state government able to help the communities enough? What kind of assistance do you think the district needs right now?
For example, I just said that this old senior lady posted on my Facebook, right, that she needs help. So she does not know where to go. We still have lot of information to give out. Look, these seniors are not sitting in front of the TV. They are not maybe reading the newspaper every day, right? So they don't have the information. So we have to make sure that these people are getting our proper information. These people should know where the resources are, how to get them. So this is a big problem. It's still a problem. And as I said that, the information, the resources has to be out there, and everybody should know about it.
Hindi is not just India's national language. It is treasure trove of cultural heritage of India. You think of Hindi and many, many glorious, uplifting, impressive, literary piece of work also comes to your mind. Indian Consulate and Jhilmi partnered to offer a special event to mark Hindi Diwas virtually, which included cultural program, dances, songs, poetry, and involvement of kids to seniors was something to witness and experience. Here are some highlights from that event.
प्रधानमंत्री का संदेश। विदेश मंत्रालय व भारतीय दूतावासों और कार्यालयों द्वारा 10 जनवरी 2021 को विश्व हिंदी दिवस के रूप में मनाए जाने के बारे में जानकर प्रसन्नता हुई। विश्व पटल पर भारत की मजबूत पहचान के साथ हिंदी ने निरंतर प्रगति की है और आज यह विश्व की सर्वाधिक बोली जाने वाली भाषाओं में शामिल है।
Come now, follow my lead. Come now, follow my lead.
मेरे साथी, और कुछ ही समय बाद कॉन्सुल जनरल श्री रणधीर जायसवाल जी भी हमसे जुड़ जाएंगे। और इस वर्ष विश्व हिंदी दिवस हम झिलमिल यूएसए के साथ मना रहे हैं, और इसके संस्थापक श्री अनु भार्गव जी, मैं आपका स्वागत करती हूँ। आपसे अनुरोध करती हूँ कि आप कार्यक्रम की बागडोर संभालें और कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाएं।
Vande Mataram, 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 Vande
आपने श्री रामचंद्र कृपालु भजवन की नृत्य प्रस्तुति देखी। अब हमारे बीच में एक बाल कलाकार रेयांश प्रसाद हमारे बीच में हैं। वो इसी राम स्तुति को अपने स्वर में
इति वदति तुलसी दास शंकर शेष मुनि मन रंजनम अमर दय कंजनी वास करु कामादि खल दल गंजनम मनु जाहि राचे उमिलहि सोबर सहज सुंदर सावरो करुणा निजान सुजानु सीलु सने हुजानत रावरो।
और अब हम आपके सामने प्रस्तुत कर रहे हैं हमारे अमेरिका के कुछ चुने हुए कवि और शायरों की एक एक छोटी छोटी झलक।
छंदों में सुंदरता, गीतों में लयबद्धता, सरगम में समग्रता हिंदी भाषा की यह है विशेषता। वाक्यों में नम्रता, शब्दों में विविधता, अक्षरों में समानता हिंदी भाषा की यह है विशेषता।
बीच बीच में कलशी घुमा देती हूँ कहीं जल न जाए, सौंदे से खुशबू आती है कभी कभी, तुम्हें भी आती है क्या? लगता है अब पकने लगा है। क्या करे, रिश्तों को पकाने वाली कोई कुकरी बुक नहीं है ना, और यहाँ तो गूगल बाबा भी फेल हो जाते हैं।
किस तरह आपका बदन छू लूं, पास बैठूं किसी बहाने से, आपकी हर अदा सिमटती सी, रूप निखरा है यूं ल जाने से।
नजरें उठा के देखो, नजरें झुका के देखो, नजरें चुरा के देखो, नजरें मिला के देखो। मेरी जिंदगी के मालिक मुझसे खफा न होना, बेमौत मर जाएंगे, जरा मुस्कुरा के देखो।
कितना आसान था मुझे छोटा करना, बस मेरे साथ खड़े आदमी का कद बढ़ा दिया।
तट है तेरा बड़ा निराला,
बहती जिसमें निर्मल धारा, धाराएं बहती जाती हैं, तू कभी नहीं रुक पाती है।
कि कृष्ण की बांसुरी से सम्मोहित गोकुल और पशु पंछियों का एक दृश्य चित्र। जब कान्हा की बंसी बाजत, जब कान्हा की बंसी बाजत, जब कान्हा की बंसी बाजत, सब गोकुल सुध हरत। जब कान्हा की बंसी बाजत, सब गोकुल सुध हरत। सुनत सारी बन कोयल बिसर जाता अपनी तान, सुनत सारी बन कोयल बिसर जाता अपनी तान। हंस हिरन चाल रोकत मस्त मयूर पग धरत, हंस हिरन चाल रोकत मस्त मयूर पग धरत। गजराज ही झूमत जात, गजराज ही झूमत जात, वन राज के संग चलत। गजराज ही झूमत जात, वन राज के संग चलत। आन बसन गौवन संग, आन बसन गौवन संग, बिसर जाता अपनी जात।
जैसा कि हमने कहा कि हमारे क्षेत्र में बहुत से विद्यालय ऐसे हैं जो बच्चों को हिंदी और भारतीय संस्कृति की शिक्षा देते हैं।
जय हो जग में जले जहां भी, नमन पुनीत नल को। जिस नर में भी बसे हमारा नमन तेज को बल को। किसी वृंत पर खिले विपिन में पर नमस्य है फूल। सुधि खोजते नहीं गुणों का आदि शक्ति का मूल। तन से समर शूर, मन से भाव, स्वभाव से दानी। जाति गोत्र का नहीं, शील का पौरुष का अभिमानी।
चांदनी तो मन तसव्वुर बस गया था, शाम ढलते मन बढ़ी ये लालसा क्या। शांत था मन दिन के झगड़ों में फंसा, शाम ढलते मन बढ़ी ये लालसा क्या।
कविता का शीर्षक है सर्वश्रेष्ठ कविता। तुम ही सर्वश्रेष्ठ हो, ये तुम्हें किसने बताया। कविता धीरे धीरे लेने लगी आकार, खुलने लगा वातावरण में प्रकाश और प्यार। मैं निश्चल प्रवाह हूं, आत्मा की मौज अथाह हूं, अनगढ़ हूं यानी सृजन का उल्लास हूं, स्वतंत्रता की अनवरत प्यास हूं। श्रेष्ठता किसी सांचे में नहीं समाती है, श्रेष्ठ कविता वो है जो आई नहीं अब आती है। कभी अपने आगमन के घुंघरू खनकाती है, कभी चुपचाप पाठक और श्रोता को गुदगुदाती है। नित्य नूतन सृजन की चांदनी छिटकती जहां, वहीं रहती है उत्तम कविता। पढ़ते सुनते नई नई होती जाती है।
सब मिलकर हिंदी को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए एक संकल्प लें, और इससे आज से बेहतर कोई दिन नहीं हो सकता है, क्योंकि आज हम विश्व हिंदी दिवस मना रहे हैं।
Dilip Nath is another candidate contesting for City Council from District 24. What is his vision? What is it that made him decide to take up this role and present himself to this race? What are his promises? He talked to us at length, and here are some excerpts from that conversation.
Thank you for having me here this evening.
So as I greet you, let me begin right away from the key question today. Coming to America, finding a comfortable job or establishing a business and realizing your dream, that is one aspect. But there is another parallel track to your story where you felt that you should be active in the community, and now this candidacy for City Council. What leads you to take this decision?
Well, very simple. I came here at the tender age of 16. I migrated from Bangladesh to America. My parents sold almost everything they had to finance my trip to JFK. And from a very short trip on a Banwick Expressway led me to where I live in Queens. And ever since I have been living in the same district, District 24. I raised two of my boys, bought house, got involved in the community, in the civic, became a PTA president and elected into Community Education Council, got appointed in the community board, and also got elected in judicial delegate back in 2001. So I am very intimately involved with the community from day one. My really journey began with, when while I was in college. I joined a movement during that time with NYPIR, New York Public Interest Research Group, to save the Pell and TAP grant. Without a Pell and TAP grant, I would not be able to get the education that I got today. So that was very important. That's when I began to learn the American process, democratic process, and getting involved to understand the political process. And I have been working all along with the community, whether it is, civic right, whether it is immigrant right. Back in 2003, I marched with the American AFL-CIO nationally for the immigrant worker freedom right. At that time, I was a national delegate for Local 2190, heavy in the union movement. So I've been into the healthcare, I've been into the education, I've been into the community. So this is not really nothing new for me.
So this is a natural progress of your involvement and engagement with the community. And I also recollect having seen you in front of the Hindu Temple of North America with John Liu and other members, and the organization NAVA, I think, organized something to increase awareness. What is NAVA, and how your community outreach with NAVA has connected with you many organizations?
So back in 2005, I ran for this same seat. After the election, I realized that our community is not aware of many of the elections that take place, especially the primary and special and local election by and large. And it really working very well for the others because they don't want us to get involved, right? And what I began in 2007, forming an organization called New American Voters Association. The purpose is very simple, to educate and register new voter and get them out to the local election. And we have been very, very successful. And today you see so many South Asians are running for an office. And I'm profoundly proud of that because the work that we have been doing in the community, getting them engaged and getting them out to vote.
Yeah, time to interrupt, sorry. So now I like the name, New American Voters Association. That's very cute name and it's very apt and it is very, very important. So how do you see the situation now in South Asian community in terms of their proactive approach in finding who is running in the race and actually going and casting their vote? Or people still think that others will take care of it and I just have to do my job?
Well, the idea of election is not just about South Asian, and I'm not running as only a South Asian race. The idea is how do you build a bridge with the broader community, right? And it takes a year's worth of work. And I think through NAVA, what we have been doing, not only organizing the South Asian, but all of the New American, but also building a bridge with the broader community. Look, one of the beauty of Queens is, we speak 200 different languages from 190 different countries, right? And Queens is the beautiful mosaic of the diversity. And 51% people that live in the borough of Queens, they're born outside of America. So the work that we have been doing through NAVA is enormous. Is really building the bridge with the broader community. And I think with that bondage would bring a progression in our election.
With that, time to say goodbye from today's Vision of Asia. Repeating this last narration. Time to say goodbye from today's Vision of Asia. But before we do that, it is also time to recollect that you would get a lot of interesting and informative material on our Facebook page. So do become friends with ITV Gold on our Facebook page and subscribe to YouTube channel of ITV Gold. Keep writing to us, events@itvgold.com. Stay safe, stay happy, and 26th January on Tuesday brings another important event for India. India would celebrate its democracy with the celebration of Republic Day. So greetings on that. Time to say goodbye. Stay safe, stay well. This is Ashok Vyas. Namaste.